And finally, we're wide release entertainment. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, there is a small movie, perhaps a little bit bigger than small, that we're making this year. It's called Morgan Kane. I want to talk to you a little bit about our company and essentially, we've listed today on the Oslo Stock Exchange, the Merkur market, and why it's so important to us at this stage of our company. So essentially, we're a global entertainment company. We're incorporated right here in Norway. Norway for us is the heart of our company. It's where the majority of our shareholders are based. We have over 100 shareholders, and this will of course expand as the first day of trading starts today, and we'll see what happens. We're focused on book to film crossover, and I'm going to explain why that's so important to us. Our creative base and our headquarters are based in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, in California. And we have access to a very low-cost production facility just 20 minutes across the border. It's about an hour and a half from Los Angeles by helicopter to get to the studio that we're going to be using set in Mexico. And what is our goal? And it's really important to kind of understand our goal here. It's really to become the global leader, not in films essentially, but films that are based on excellent literary content. And that's really important. And we will talk about Morgan Kane in just a second. I can see lots of excited faces. We will talk about that. And it's important that we continue to grow as a company, and not just grow, but grow as a publicly traded company. And that will give us a lot of leverage in Hollywood. Norway, believe it or not, is very exotic in Hollywood. It's seen as a, when we tell our colleagues and our foreign investors, our American investors, that we will be listing right here in Oslo, it's very, very exciting for them. So let's talk about our primary revenue here. So motion pictures, yes. Publishing, yes. And in the future, studio as well. We have additional revenue streams, distribution. It's something that we will definitely be wanting to move into, distribution and the sales agency business. And talent management is important because when you make a new movie franchise, you get lots of actors and actresses who essentially become overnight stars, right? They become Hollywood stars. And I think it's really nice that we want to nurture the talent that we find across Norway, across America, across Mexico for our films, and we manage those in-house and really, get their careers moving in the right direction. So these are additional revenue streams in the yellow, and essentially our primary business is motion pictures, publishing, and soon to be studio. Okay, so board of directors, a few familiar faces there, and we're going to look at management too. I will start off with Ryan. I'll start off with Ryan Wick. So a familiar name. He's our vice chairman, but also he is the star of the Morgan Kane film franchise. And he is not management. He's too busy, preparing for the imminent release of Morgan Kane this year. And I think it's fair to say that he is truly the visionary behind WR and behind the whole setup of how the company is. And when we talk about WR in Hollywood, there's such a high regard and such a high respect for the business plan that we have and the slate of movies that are coming up in the next 5 years. Let me tell you a little bit about Jim Cardwell, our chairman. Essentially, over 30 years of experience at Warner Brothers. He was president of home video there. He looked after, annual global operations of over 6.5 billion. We have our 3 board members here, Jenny Chu, you know, very respected investment banker in Los Angeles. Henning Ergland, you may have heard of him. He's local. He's here in Oslo, sits on numerous boards. He's a lawyer by trade. I will talk about myself in a second. Advisory board from Disney, technology, music, lots and lots of key people. And it's the material that brings the people in. You know, when we talk about Morgan Kane, we give them the books, the script, they really get excited. Senior management. So we've got myself as CEO. Essentially, what will I bring to WR? I have invested and managed 7 tech startups going through Series A or Series B funding. They're going to do their own IPOs next year. And essentially for me, I have a media experience, so I was a BBC News anchor for many years. Our CFO has been the CFO and a Chief Accounting Officer for 4 publicly traded companies on the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange. And Jim, I have spoken to you about Jim. So essentially, book to film crossover. Why is that so important? Hunger Games. Before the rights of the film were acquired, only 200,000 books were sold. And what happened is the publishers of the book activated their fan base, and within that period, from the rights being acquired to the the release in the first week of the film, look at that number, 23.5 million books alone sold in the US. Now look at Morgan Kane. We've already sold 20 million books, and essentially we've only targeted Scandinavia and parts of Europe. We're going to target America, the Latin America, the Far East, the rest of Europe. Really, really exciting, because we're going to be activating that fan base and seeing what happens over the next 12 months. We have 83 titles compared to all of these other titles. Lots smaller. Hunger Games' last title was actually split into 2 movies. So they had 4 movies in total. So this is just showing how one movie can change the stock of a company. Lionsgate had a market cap of about 600 million, and then boom, Hunger Games came onto the scene, and essentially from this point onwards, they saw a market cap of between 5 to 6 billion now. That's where we want to be. Morgan Kane, based on book number 39 and 40. Filming begins this year imminently in Mexico. Promo stills, this is a dark, sexy, gritty movie, action adventure, like James Bond, Jason Bourne, but set in the West. We have Mark Huffam, who's our producer, who's essentially just won a Golden Globe, I think yesterday or the day before. He's the Martian producer. We have an amazing production crew there. This is just showing that we're going to be starting and releasing the movie in January 2017 or the end of 2016. Morgan Kane 2 and 3 are already being planned for, and they'll be released 12 months between each movie. This is just showing essentially that entertainment industry is recession-proof, essentially. So markets can go up and down, but it's a really steady growth for the entertainment industry. This is where we're positioned right now. That's the mini major section. We want to be acquired, and we are in a really good spot to be acquired by one of the majors. This is speed talking, by the way. And this is the last slide. We've sold 25 million copies to date. We really want to expand in the Americas. This material has never been exploited in Latin America, the Far East, or the rest of the world. Thank you. Done.